First Contact and Suspicion. The Galactic Confederation's flagship, Eternal Vigilance, hung motionless against the backdrop of stars, its crystalline hull reflecting the distant light of Earth's sun. Admiral Vexthor stood at the command center, his four eyes fixed on the holographic display, showing an unusual energy signature emanating from Earth's orbit. "Impossible," he muttered, his scaled fingers dancing across the control interface. "Run the scan again." His science officer, Callan, adjusted her sensors. "The reading is consistent, Admiral. Whatever the humans are hiding up there, it's unlike anything in our database. The energy pattern suggests a power source that shouldn't exist, not at their technological level." The Confederation had monitored Earth since first discovering the planet 50 years ago. They'd watched with mild amusement as humans took their first tentative steps into space, establishing lunar colonies and Martian outposts. The species had been classified as a Level 2 civilization, barely capable of interplanetary travel, centuries away from becoming a significant galactic player. Or so they had thought. "Send for Operative Naira," Vexthor commanded. "If anyone can uncover what the humans are hiding, it's her." Hours later, Naira stood before him, her chameleonic skin shifting subtly to match the metallic walls of the briefing room. As the Confederation's most accomplished infiltrator, she had uncovered secrets from a dozen worlds. Her record was perfect. "The humans are clever," Vexthor began, projecting the energy readings. "They've maintained the appearance of a developing civilization while secretly building something that defies our understanding of their capabilities. I need you to discover what it is." Naira studied the data, her vertical pupils dilating with interest. "These power signatures, they're being masked somehow. Sophisticated work." She looked up at the Admiral. "I'll need a cover story. You'll pose as a cultural exchange officer. The humans are eager to prove themselves to the Confederation. They'll welcome you with open arms." 3 days later, Naira stepped off her shuttle onto Earth's premier orbital station, Horizon 1. Her altered appearance matched human proportions perfectly, though she kept her height tall enough to command respect. The station's diplomatic officer, David Chen, greeted her with a practiced smile. "Welcome to Horizon 1, Representative Naira. We're honored to host a member of the Confederation's cultural exchange program." Naira returned the smile, already scanning her surroundings. The station appeared exactly as expected for a Level 2 civilization, functional but unrefined, with visible weld marks and exposed conduits. Yet something felt off. The power readings she detected during approach suggested energy usage far beyond what she observed. "The honor is mine," she replied smoothly. "I look forward to learning more about humanity's space programs." Over the next week, Naira played her role perfectly. She attended diplomatic functions, toured research facilities, and expressed appropriate amazement at humanity's modest achievements. But during the station's night cycle, she hunted for answers. The first clue came from an encrypted transmission she intercepted between Horizon 1 and a supposedly automated satellite. The coding was far too sophisticated for human technology, or rather, what human technology was supposed to be capable of. The second clue emerged during a routine tour of the station's power plant. The reactor she was shown couldn't possibly generate enough energy to account for the readings her sensors had detected. There had to be another power source hidden somewhere. But it was a conversation overheard in the station's bar that truly caught her attention. Two maintenance workers, deep in their cups, discussing something called Project Phoenix. "Can't believe they fit that much power in something that size," one worker muttered. "Makes everything else look like ancient history." The other worker quickly shushed his companion, eyes darting nervously around the room. Naira pretended to focus on her drink, her enhanced hearing capturing every word. Project Phoenix, a power source beyond anything they'd imagined possible, and a vessel large enough to require its own dedicated maintenance crew, yet somehow hidden from the Confederation's most sophisticated scanning technology. That night, she composed her report to Admiral Vexthor, encrypted it within a routine cultural exchange update, and prepared for deeper investigation. The humans were hiding something unprecedented, something that could upset the balance of power in this sector of the galaxy. As she stared out her quarter's viewport at the gleaming blue marble of Earth below, Naira felt a familiar thrill of the hunt. But beneath that excitement lurked something else: unease. In all her years of infiltration, she'd never encountered a species capable of deceiving the Confederation so completely. Perhaps it was time to reevaluate their assessment of humanity. Pieces of the puzzle. Naira's breakthrough came during the third week of her mission. The maintenance worker she'd overheard in the bar turned up dead, officially ruled an accident during routine exterior repairs. But she knew better. The timing was too convenient, the circumstances too neat. Commander Sarah Jong of Earth's Space Defense Force attended the memorial service. Naira watched her from across the station's memorial garden, noting how the commander's eyes never settled in one place for too long. A military officer trained to spot surveillance. A shame about Technician Riley, Naira said later, deliberately crossing paths with Jong in the station's central corridor. I understand he was one of your best maintenance specialists. Jong's expression remained neutral, but Naira's enhanced senses detected a slight elevation in the commander's heart rate. Every loss is difficult for our community. Did you know him? Only in passing. Though I found his insights into Earth's power generation systems fascinating. The subtle tightening of Jong's jaw told Naira everything she needed to know. The commander excused herself quickly, and within hours, security protocols across the station intensified. They were definitely hiding something big. That night, Naira activated her most sophisticated infiltration tech, microscopic drones that could bypass human security systems. As they scattered through the station's restricted sections, she received a priority message from Admiral Vexthor. The Confederation Council is growing impatient, his encrypted hologram reported. 3 more energy signatures matching the original pattern have been detected. Whatever the humans are hiding, they're building more. You have 1 standard week to uncover the truth. The pressure was on, but Naira's drones were already feeding her incredible data, hidden behind layers of security and misdirection. Project Phoenix was far more ambitious than anyone had imagined. The humans hadn't just built a powerful ship, they'd created something that rewrote the rules of space warfare. A vessel that could bend light around its hull, that could generate more power than a small sun, and that could move in ways that defied known physics. But how had they done it? Earth's official technological development couldn't account for this leap forward. Unless Naira began cross-referencing historical data. 3 decades ago, a small human research vessel had disappeared in an unexplored sector, presumed lost with all hands. They'd returned 6 months later with a damaged ship and a classified report that was immediately buried in Earth's most secure archives. The timestamps matched perfectly with the earliest traces she could find of Project Phoenix's development. The humans hadn't developed this technology. They'd reverse-engineered it from something they'd found out there in the dark. As Naira dug deeper, she discovered a vast network of hidden shipyards scattered throughout Earth's solar system, disguised as mining operations and research outposts. The humans had spent 30 years preparing for this moment, building their secret fleet while maintaining a carefully crafted facade of technological inferiority. Her final breakthrough came from an unexpected source: the station's waste reclamation systems. Her drones detected trace amounts of exotic particles that could only come from one thing: a quantum fold drive. Technology that even the Confederation had only theorized about. The implications were staggering. A fleet of ships equipped with such drives could appear anywhere in the galaxy instantly, completely changing the nature of space warfare and exploration. Naira prepared her report with mixed emotions. This revelation would send shockwaves through the Confederation. Earth would face demands to share the technology, threats if they refused. The careful balance of power that had maintained peace for centuries would crumble overnight. But before she could transmit her findings, alarms blared throughout the station. Emergency lights bathed the corridors in red as Captain Chen's voice echoed through the communications system. All personnel to emergency stations. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Naira accessed the external feeds just in time to see it. A massive ship emerging from what appeared to be empty space, its hull reflecting light in impossible ways. The human's hand had been forced, and Project Phoenix was about to reveal itself to the galaxy. The revelation. The ship that materialized before Horizon 1 silenced every voice on the station. Nearly 2 kilometers long, its obsidian hull seemed to drink in light rather than reflect it. Even Naira's enhanced vision struggled to focus on its shape, as if the vessel existed in multiple spaces simultaneously. "This is Admiral Elena Santos of the EFS Phoenix," a calm voice announced across all frequencies. "To all Confederation vessels in the sector, we know you're there. You can power down your cloaking systems now." Naira watched in astonishment as 3 Confederation warships shimmered into view, their own stealth systems rendered useless. Admiral Vexthor's flagship was among them. They had been watching all along. The human supercarrier dwarfed the Confederation vessels. Its hull bore no visible weapons, no conventional engine ports, nothing that marked it as a warship by any known standard. Yet its mere presence radiated power in a way that made every military instinct in Naira's body scream danger. Commander Zhang appeared beside her at the observation deck. "I suppose we can drop the pretense now," she said, her previous caution replaced with quiet pride. "Though I suspect you've already pieced most of it together." "The quantum fold drive," Naira replied, maintaining her composure. "You didn't just theorize it. You built it." "That's just the beginning." Zhang gestured to the Phoenix. 30 years ago, we found something out there. Not a ship or a weapon. An idea. Mathematical principles that changed our understanding of space, time, and energy. The Confederation thinks in linear terms of technological progression. We chose a different path. The Phoenix's hull began to shift, segments realigning like a living thing. Points of light appeared along its length, and suddenly Naira understood what she was seeing. The ship wasn't just bending light. It was manipulating the fabric of space itself. "Impossible," she whispered. "That's a word humans don't particularly believe in." Zhang smiled. "The Phoenix doesn't just travel through space. It rewrites the rules of what space is. Every point in the universe exists simultaneously from its perspective. Distance becomes meaningless." A demonstration followed. The Phoenix simply ceased to exist, then reappeared instantly on the other side of Earth's moon. No acceleration, no movement through space. It simply was there, then here, defying every known law of physics. "Your Confederation built its empire on controlling the spaces between stars," John continued. "We decided to remove those spaces from the equation entirely." Admiral Vexthor's voice crackled across the communication channels. "This is a violation of multiple Confederation treaties. Earth has deliberately concealed military technology." "Treaties that Earth never signed," Admiral Santos interrupted. "We've monitored your expansion, Admiral. We've seen how the Confederation absorbs lesser civilizations. Did you really think we'd develop this technology just to hand it over?" The tension was palpable. Naira could see Confederation targeting systems attempting to lock onto the Phoenix, failing as the ship's spatial distortion field made a mockery of their most advanced sensors. "We're not announcing our presence as a threat," Santos continued, her voice level. "Consider this a courtesy call. Earth is now opening diplomatic relations with civilizations beyond the Confederation's borders. We're offering alternatives to species who want to chart their own course in the galaxy." The implications hit Naira like a physical blow. Earth wasn't just revealing advanced technology. They were challenging the Confederation's entire power structure. Their apparent technological inferiority had been the perfect cover to develop something that changed everything. As if to emphasize the point, 5 more Phoenix-class vessels emerged from seemingly empty space, taking position around Earth. A fleet that could appear anywhere, anytime, operating on principles that the Confederation's best scientists barely understood. "Your mission was quite thorough, Operative Naira," Zhang said quietly. But while you were investigating our technology, we were learning everything about yours. The age of the Confederation's unchallenged dominance is over. The question is, what happens next? The silence that followed was deafening. In a matter of minutes, humanity had rewritten the balance of power in the galaxy, and as Nera watched the Confederation ships withdraw to a safer distance, she realized that this was just the beginning of a much larger story. Trial by fire. The Confederation's response came 3 days later, but not from Vexthor's fleet. The Kraxan, an aggressive species on the Confederation's fringe, launched a massive assault on Earth's orbital defenses. 50 warships emerged from hyperspace, their weapons already charging. The Kraxan were known for their brutal efficiency, often used as the Confederation's unofficial enforcement arm when diplomatic solutions failed. Their attack was meant to prove that humanity's new technology couldn't match raw military power. They were wrong. Multiple hostile contacts. Horizon 1's AI announced calmly. Kraxan warfleet detected. Estimated time to weapons range, 30 seconds. Commander Zhang merely smiled as she watched from the command center. Phoenix Fleet, you are cleared to engage. Defensive pattern Sigma. What happened next redefined the very concept of space warfare. The 6 Phoenix-class vessels didn't move to intercept the Kraxan fleet. Instead, space itself seemed to fold around the attacking ships. Points of light appeared throughout the Kraxan formation, each one a minute distortion in the fabric of reality. They think we built the Phoenix class just for transportation, Zhang explained to Naira, who stood transfixed by the display. The quantum fold drive doesn't just move our ships, it lets us manipulate space itself as a weapon. The Kraxan fleet fired their first volley, hundreds of plasma torpedoes and energy beams that should have overwhelmed any defense. But the attacks passed harmlessly through empty space as the targeted areas simply ceased to exist, reappearing kilometers away. Impossible, one of the Kraxan commanders broadcast. Their ships, there. Everywhere and nowhere. Zhang finished. Phoenix Fleet, demonstrate our primary offensive capabilities. The space around the Kraxan ships began to twist. Spatial distortions appeared inside their shields, bypassing their defenses completely. Ships began to break apart, not from weapons fire, but from space itself becoming unstable around them. This isn't a battle, Naira realized. It's a demonstration. 10 Kraxan ships vanished in the first minute, their matter scattered across multiple spatial coordinates. Others found themselves suddenly occupying the same space as their allies, with catastrophic results. The Phoenix-class vessels weren't just fighting, they were rewriting the rules of combat itself. The remaining Kraxan ships attempted to retreat, but discovered their hyperdrives wouldn't engage. The Phoenix fleet had created a localized distortion field, trapping them in normal space. To all remaining Kraxan vessels, Admiral Santos's voice was cold and clear. Your attack on Earth has failed. Surrender now, or we will be forced to continue this demonstration. The Kraxan, faced with technology they couldn't understand or counter, had no choice. 37 ships surrendered. The rest had been reduced to scattered atoms by humanity's spatial manipulation technology. Later, in Horizon 1's observation lounge, Naira watched the cleanup operation with Zhang. The Confederation will say this was an unauthorized attack, she said quietly. Of course they will, Zhang nodded. Just like they'll claim no knowledge of giving the Kraxan our defense grid configurations. We expected this. It's why we let them plant their spies, including you. Every bit of intelligence they gathered led them to underestimate us. You knew about me from the beginning. We've known about every Confederation operative on our stations for years. Your presence helped maintain our cover of technological inferiority. After all, if we were really hiding something, surely the Confederation's best spy would have found it sooner. Naira felt a newfound respect for human strategic thinking. They hadn't just developed revolutionary technology. They had masterfully manipulated the Confederation's own intelligence gathering against them. The Kraxan were just the beginning, weren't they? She asked. Change never comes easily, Zhang confirmed. But today's demonstration will make others think twice. The Phoenix fleet doesn't just represent new technology. It represents humanity's refusal to be bound by the limitations others try to impose on us. As debris from the battle drifted past the observation window, Naira realized she was witnessing more than just the aftermath of a failed attack. This was the beginning of a fundamental shift in galactic power. And humanity, far from being the primitive species she'd first assessed, was orchestrating it all. New balance of power. 1 month after the Kraxan attack, representatives from 37 species gathered in Earth's orbital diplomatic center. The Phoenix fleet hung in formation above the planet, a silent reminder of humanity's newfound power. But it wasn't fear that had drawn these civilizations to Earth. It was hope. For too long, the Confederation has claimed to be the only path to galactic civilization. Elena Santos, now Earth's primary diplomatic representative, addressed the assembled aliens. Today, we offer an alternative. The Treaty of Terra proposes a new framework for interstellar relations, one based on mutual respect and self-determination, not technological suppression and forced assimilation. Naira, still officially a cultural attaché, but now serving as an unofficial bridge between Earth and the Confederation, watched the proceedings with keen interest. The humans had done something unprecedented. They'd united the Confederation's dissatisfied member species without firing a shot. The quantum fold technology will be shared with all signatories. Santos continued, causing a stir among the delegates. Under strict safety protocols, of course. But unlike the Confederation, we believe that lifting all species benefits humanity more than keeping them dependent on us. The implications were revolutionary. The Confederation had maintained its power by controlling access to advanced technology. Earth was offering to break that monopoly completely. Later, in a private meeting room, Naira confronted Santos about the risks. You're changing the fundamental power structure of the galaxy. The Confederation won't accept this quietly. Santos smiled, reminding Naira of that first revelation of the Phoenix fleet. They already have, whether they realize it or not. Look. She activated a holographic display showing hundreds of spatial distortion signatures throughout Confederation space. Every Phoenix-class vessel we revealed was a Generation 1 model. We have 3 more generations already deployed. We could shut down every major Confederation system simultaneously if we chose to. But you won't, Naira realized. Because this isn't about replacing one empire with another. Exactly. Humanity spent 30 years appearing weak while building something unprecedented. Not just ships or weapons, but a new way of thinking about space, time, and civilization itself. The Phoenix fleet is powerful, yes, but it's the ideas behind it that truly matter. The next few days saw a flurry of diplomatic activity. 28 species signed the Treaty of Terra immediately. Others waited, watching to see how the Confederation would respond. They didn't have to wait long. Admiral Vex Thor himself arrived as the Confederation's representative, his massive flagship escorted by the Phoenix-class vessel Humanity's Dawn, a pointed reminder of the new reality. The Confederation acknowledges Earth's emergence as a galactic power, he announced formally. We propose a mutual defense and technology exchange agreement. Rejected, Santos replied calmly. But we welcome the Confederation to join the Treaty of Terra as an equal partner, not a controlling authority. The choice is yours. Naira watched her former superior carefully. Vex Thor's expression remained neutral, but she knew him well enough to see the acceptance in his eyes. The Confederation hadn't just lost its monopoly on advanced technology. It had lost its ability to prevent other species from choosing their own path. 1 year later, Naira stood in the same observation lounge where she'd first witnessed the Phoenix fleet's revelation. Earth's orbital space had transformed. Ships of dozens of species moved freely through quantum fold corridors, their civilizations advancing together rather than under the Confederation's careful control. Commander Zhang joined her, now wearing the uniform of the newly formed Terran Diplomatic Corps. Having second thoughts about defecting, she asked. No, Naira replied honestly. Humanity didn't just change the balance of power. You changed how power itself works in the galaxy. I want to be part of that. Below them, Earth continued its orbital dance around its star. But it was no longer just another world on the galaxy's edge. It had become something much more. A symbol of what was possible when a species refused to accept the limitations others placed upon it. The Phoenix fleet still patrolled the stars, but its greatest victory hadn't come from its revolutionary technology or its ability to rewrite the laws of physics. It had come from humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy, the idea that every species had the right to forge its own destiny. And as new quantum fold signatures appeared in the distance, marking the arrival of more diplomatic delegations, Naira realized that this wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning of a new chapter in galactic history, one where humanity had changed the rules of the game entirely.